welcome to another episode of the Tip Balls Podcast. I'm your host, Sam Randazzo, and we are joined today by two fabulous co-hosts. To my right, it is the one, the only, it's Uncle Sam.
Hello.
You're looking awfully patriotic today, I'll call it. I like the no sleeves. I wish there was no hat because I enjoy looking at your head, but the hat's nice. It's a gift from President Baker from a couple weeks ago, and everybody loves President Baker here. So how are you doing today?
Shout out to President Baker.
You're doing good.
Yep.
Any high points, low points of the day so far today? On a
The only thing that's high
Wednesday?
today is Bruce.
The only high point today is Bruce.
That's not the only thing that's high in the studio today.
Yeah, we have a guest joining us in the studio today, just in for observation purposes. For the first time in almost 3 years, it's Gary No Football. Back from the depths.
Say something.
Fedora and all. To my left, it is none other than our very own Mr. Zolo, Mike Pelazzolo.
Oh, I was waiting for it.
With the fake. Zolo, how are you today?
I'm all right.
Nice Wednesday so far?
Work still sucks.
The work woes?
Shout out to Blink 182. Work sucks. I know. Yeah, no, this week's flying because I've been really busy at work, so it's good. And here we are. We got football tomorrow. We got Lions football tomorrow.
We have Lions football. We do indeed have Lions football tomorrow. But before we get to that, we have to say who's behind the ones and twos. As always, it's Bruce, the tugboat, Venditti.
How you doing?
So actually, I've talked to multiple people now who have said that we need the Bruce cam. Like that we need the Bruce cam.
And who are these multiple people? I'm just
Better
curious.
get on the
There's-
tipped Amazon account. And
We're going to get on tipped Amazon and we're going to get you a tipped Bruce cam because everybody wants to see the guy. Everybody wants to see the guy. We have new viewers since you had a camera. So everybody wants to see the guy. So we're going to have to figure something out. So your pink face, your soft pink face and pube-like mustache can be broadcast for the world to see.
fair enough.
Fair enough. In the football world so far this week, there has been one name that has just, I'm so sick and tired of hearing, and that's Brandon Aiyuk. We're going to talk about that today. What's going on with it? Where he's gonna end up? Because we posed a question on last episode if any of these guys are going to move. Well, it looks like he's going to move, but I think there are some mixed feelings on it, so we're going to get into that. Obviously, the Lions are having joint practices with the Giants right now. It's been a shit show thus far, an expensive shit show for both teams. We're going to break that down a little bit. And so far, training camp has been riddled with injuries and big injuries too. So we need to discuss that today. But like we said, we have football tomorrow. We have Lions football tomorrow. And that's the best thing ever. We've made it. We've made it through the dark times. Do we know if the Lions are going to play anybody of value tomorrow?
Of value, yes. Starters, especially starters that have been in the system, no.
No.
No Jared Goff, no St. Brown, no Laporta, no Branch, no Hutchinson, no Montgomery, no Gibbs. None of those guys.
Oh, God. It's going to be one of those days.
I disagree. I think there's going to be a lot to like still.
You do.
I do.
You do.
I have things. It's a question I have. Well, let's just do it right now. Uncle Sam, what are you looking for in tomorrow's preseason game? Are you going to watch? Is there anything that you want to keep your eyes peeled for?
Hooker.
Who?
Great answer.
Hooker.
Great answer.
I mean, Hendon Hooker.
That's the big question mark.
What are your expectations for Hendon
Oh,
Hooker?
he better come out there and at least look serviceable.
I mean, that's the first. He didn't play at all last year, correct? He did
No,
not take
he
a snap.
was injured in the preseason.
And then in college, he went out very early in his senior year.
No. It was the last game of his senior year.
It was the last game.
Last game.
Okay, he hasn't played any real football in well over a year.
Oh, yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to watch.
Listen, he's got to come out and at least look like he's the part.
Yeah.
He's got to look like he's the backup. It's got to look like that. Because if not, then they got to talk. If he's not,
It's your
then
boy
they
Nate
need to
Sudfeld.
Well, and he's the same way. Neither one of these guys look like they're the
There's
part.
no Teddy Ball game.
Right.
There's no Teddy Ball game.
Right.
You've been kind of high on the Giants.
Who?
You.
As far as
their defense. You
I
love
think
what they
their
did with the
defense
defense
is
in the
gonna be
offseason.
outstanding.
What are you looking for out of them so far?
because none of their guys are going to play. I mean, I don't know. It's a fucking preseason game, dude. Doesn't
Did you see Brian Dabble lately?
you know?
My dude lost some serious pounds.
Didn't even need Ozempic to do it.
Didn't need Ozempic to do it. I mean, he slendered down quite a bit.
He lost a lot of weight even for Hard Knocks.
I know.
He was slim.
But you guys don't look as much alike anymore.
Oh,
now.
anyway, whatever.
So, I mean, to compare, I don't know if you're going to like him as much this year because
Listen, he's a good coach. I think he's a really good coach.
how's your mouth doing, by the way?
Great.
I forgot to, I was going to do this in the intro. Are you,
No, you don't need to.
are you still in pain?
Yes.
Is it subsiding at all?
Sort of.
Is it emotional pain?
Did you have emotional damages from the wisdom teeth removal?
No, it's fucking nerve damage.
Can you feel your tongue now?
No, it's numb.
Completely numb.
Yeah.
But you can taste.
Yes.
So you didn't lose your taste.
No, I have pain in the side, this side, and that side.
It's all tied together.
Realistically, if you're eating and you bite through your tongue,
It's not that I can't eat. I can eat, but I can't open my mouth real wide.
you couldn't open your mouth.
My jaw's absolutely fucking hammered.
It's well documented that you had the mouth of a small stingray beforehand. So now, I mean, you open all the way wide. You couldn't even fit a hot dog in there probably.
I could barely get a fucking slice of pizza in there.
Oh my God.
Barely.
It's just a male shoot.
Yeah.
You're working with a straight male shoot now.
Correct.
Oh, that's terrible.
Are you going to watch the preseason game tomorrow?
I am going to watch the preseason game tomorrow. I need it. I need it.
That's fair. It's the first one. Is there anything that you're looking for that you're excited to see?
I want to see some of the guys for the Lions that are deeper in that secondary that had a bigger role last year that probably might get reduced a little bit. I want to see them actually put together a halfway decent showing. I'm not going to lie, and we'll talk about it a little bit more in the injuries. I know that's their most improved positional group, but I want to know what that actually means. Because if you're saying, oh, the worst positional group we had last year, we added pieces, and it's now one of the best positional groups on the team, it's much improved. I want to see that actually in action. The other thing was, I heard today that Craig Reynolds is listed at the top of the quote-unquote unofficial depth chart for punt and kick return. Craig Reynolds. I mean, everybody loves Craig Reynolds, a household name around here. Everybody loves Craig Reynolds.
It's the only way he's going to get a roster spot.
Yeah, but it'd be awesome if he did.
Well, that's another thing that you just hit on too. Is one of the bad. I have a long list of things I'm going to be looking for. I'm definitely going to give this a half. And on the list is Sione Vaki is actually injured right now. They're just holding him out. He's fine. He's probably not going to play tomorrow. He didn't practice this week in the joint practices. RB5, because that guy makes the team, and it's going to be either Jermar Jefferson or Zonovan Knight. It's going to be one of those two dudes. I'm curious who gets the reps. Reynolds serves a purpose in the backfield, in my opinion. It's just bumped to 4, and I'm with you. I think his main job now is special teams at this point. But he's got his stripes. So it makes sense that he's first for tomorrow, and he's first in kick returns. That makes a lot of sense to me. And I mean, I wish we were getting Sione Vaki in this game. I wish we'd be able to see him, and I'm sure we'll see him later in the preseason. But also on the list, Cousin Steven said in the chat, Levi Onwuzurike, who I do think is going to play tomorrow, even though he's technically first on the depth chart with Reader out. I think we're going to get some Onwuzurike snaps. And the defense actually took a lot of heat from the Monday practice. They stepped it up in the Tuesday practice. But the D-line between Hutchinson, Davenport, Onwuzurike, and McNeil, those 4 guys ate on Monday and Tuesday, and I'm excited to see what everyone else sees with Onwuzurike.
You see the bullshit he wrote on there?
Who, Hendon Hooker?
You do? Okay, so Jack in the chat, Hendon Hooker, dude, I saw him practice once. He's better than Goff, dude. That play right there, you realize where that stemmed from.
Yes.
It's Bruce.
No.
No.
That stems from the time he saw Braxton Berrios in the joint practice. With the
I was with
Patriots.
you guys.
Yes, and
I was with
he
you
said
guys.
that Braxton Berrios, you made a comparison.
You tell me.
No, I was
was
with you. I'm the one that I turned around and I told you, I go, watch. I didn't see it at the practice at the time, but I go, watch. This guy is going to end up being the next Danny Amendola or Wes Welker or white guy that the Patriots produce and goes on to do something. So you took it to the next level is what you're
He
telling
said
me?
he was, quote unquote, the best player on the field that
Don't
day.
you remember he smoked Darius Slay, smoked everybody they
Okay, I was with you guys, and he did do all that.
I'm aware.
He stood out in that practice.
But that's where
he was
where
making
that comes
diving
from.
catches. He was fucking unreal.
Try hard
Fuck
of
you,
the year.
Jack.
Braxton
Fuck you,
Berrios.
Jack.
16.
No, I'm excited for Hendon Hooker.
My team, Jack.
I'm excited
my
for Hendon
league.
Hooker. I'm excited for Jake Bates. It's going to be rainy and cold tomorrow. I'm definitely excited to see the younger guys in the secondary like you are.
Are we
Yeah.
going to see Terry Arnold or Rakestraw?
I think we're going to see Tyrion Arnold at least for a series or two, and Rakestraw, you're certainly going to see Rakestraw. And Rakestraw has stood out ever since pads have come on. He was killing people in practice this week again. And especially, unfortunately, there's a Mosley injury again. R.I.P. Please come back, Mosley. I think that might put them in position to sign someone, but Mosley's injured again, and that
I
opens the door.
think he should hang it up.
Ooh. Why?
I just do. The guy can't stay healthy, dude. Can't stay healthy.
The body's taking a beating.
He's played what? One series in fucking 3 years?
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Yeah.
Time to go, bud.
It's sad.
Time to call it a career.
I do think he ends up coming back. He has the same injury, by the way, that C.J. Gardner-Johnson had last year, and he was September, October, November. Started working him back in December. He was back by the end of December. So there's a hypothetical. It's August
That's
right now.
torn pack, dude.
Yeah,
He's-
yeah,
but C.J. Gardner-Johnson
made it-
came back in 4 months.
And what was he?
He came back in 4 months. We don't need Emmanuel Mosley to be a starting corner. We need him to
No,
be
I
depth.
get that.
We need him to be better than Kindle Vildor having a ball going off his face mask. That's
Oh,
what
my
we need.
God. Oh, Dark Lumen has entered the chat.
Dark Lumen, we're talking Aiyuk. You better not go anywhere. You better ask us all the questions because your Super Bowl
First thing
hopes
out of his mouth.
took a fucking hit.
First
Do we want to go to Aiyuk or do we want to talk about the brawl first?
Yeah, no, let's continue with the Lions and
Okay.
stay on theme here for a second.
There's been a lot of talk about J-Mo this week.
Yeah, J-Mo's still standing out.
I think I was watching highlights. The guy looks really good. And you know what? He looks a lot less raw than last year. I think that he's going to be a huge part of this offense this year. And there's a lot of worry when Reynolds left. And I know we talked a lot about the possibility of like, oh, we need to go after Mike Evans. We need to X, Y, and Z. I don't know about that right now. I don't know about that. I mean, if Amon-Ra St. Brown is a top 5 receiver in this league, which I think we're all pretty close on that, right? And J-Mo could be one of the most stout number 2s in this league, then I think that the depth that you have there between Antoine Green, who's I've heard a lot of good stuff about, Khalif Raymond, they can pick up any of the pieces, and you're going to have a serious receiver room. And you have Laporta.
I think they're fine. I don't consider J-Mo a number 2 regardless. The number 2 on that team
Sam
is
Laporta.
Laporta.
Yeah.
Very
He's the number 2, and J-Mo would be a number 3, and my guy Khalif Raymond is number 4.
I'm happy you said that. So,
right.
question to both of you. And Bruce, if you want to chime in. Gary, if you want to chime in. Do you know football, Gary?
No?
J-Mo's yards over under is 849.5. Do you think he goes over? Is he 850-yard receiver this year? If you get 850 yards and we'll call it 8 touchdowns out of J-Mo, that's a hell of a year.
I think that might be a little high.
That's a hell of a year. The yards or the touchdowns?
Touchdowns.
What about the yards? Do you think he goes over 850
I
yards?
think he should hit that mark easily.
It's because of what you said. Sam Laporta is the second receiver in the offense.
Right.
Anything over 850 yards for Jamison Williams, and I think he's going to hit 1,000 personally. I do believe he's going to hit 1,000. I would take the over on the 850, and I think he's going to go over 8 touchdowns because he's going to blow the top off the defense for 4 or 5 of them, and he's going to be a red zone threat on another couple. Like he's the go-to option in the red zone right now, believe it or not. Their first play when they ran red zone on Monday, their first play was a Goff to J-Mo touchdown pass. So I think if he goes over 850 yards, that's a hell of a year. If Laporta just is half as good as he is last year, Gibbs has been lining up to the outside like McCaffrey. Like there's a lot to take in right now. And a guy that's emerging is this Doris Fountain guy. Has anyone heard about him? He's supposedly the guy that's coming on for wide receiver 5 or wide receiver 4, whatever you want to call him.
X receiver.
And he's big too. I think he's 6'2". He's the guy that they need, the X that they, like you said, that can get to the downfield. So yeah, big week of. It's been good for JMO from the start, and good for the Lions.
I'm not worried about their offense, to be honest with you. It's the defense. It's got to at least put up some kind of middle of the pack numbers.
Yeah.
I think if they can get into the inside the top 20, I think they'll do very well.
And it's all gonna come down to that secondary. It really is. Speaking of that secondary, Brian Branch, a little banged up right now. They're gonna hold him out. Do you know anything deeper on him?
Yeah, he's fine from what I understand. In fact, I think he was doing a little bit more yesterday. There's a few guys that they kind of held out. Like I mentioned, Vaki. Laporta has a hamstring issue. He could play if it was regular season, but they're keeping him out right now. Malcolm Rodriguez, Zeitler missed both the practices. Ife Melifonwu missed yesterday. Terry and Arnold actually left the first practice. He was in the concussion program.
Yeah, he's back though.
He got bullied by Andrew Thomas in a live rep. I'm not worried about any of the injuries other than, it's keeping an eye on Reeder, obviously, but Reeder should be ready when the time comes.
Yeah, he doesn't need to even fucking play in this preseason.
No, and Anzarike
I
has
wouldn't
been...
play him.
Bruce, check the Wi-Fi.
rock solid.
Yeah, we're great.
No, we're rolling. No?
We're buffered.
Oh, no.
Could just be my computer though.
No, it's going for me.
Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah. Must be a my computer issue. Do we put any weight on tomorrow? Like, I know there's things that we want to see, but are we putting any weight on it?
No.
Like, outside of them going out there and looking like absolute, but it's I feel like you're gonna get Nate Sudfeld and Hendon Hooker, and you're not getting anything good.
I said, I just want him to come out and look serviceable.
I want to see good reps from the guys like you named, from Hooker, from Anzarike, from Amik Robinson. I want to see good reps. That's all. Last year, I think they were I was in Africa, but from what I recall, they were manhandled by the Giants. They weren't just beat. It was at Ford Field, and they looked bad. And we all know how.
Well, you remember what happened when they actually played for real.
Exactly. Yeah, 2 years ago. But last year, the Giants didn't do anything, and the Lions ended up in the title game. So I wouldn't get too carried away.
I don't care about the score. I just want to see them get solid reps.
Right.
Look the part.
Real quick, just for a second, can we talk about Kirby Joseph and Malik Neighbors?
Absolutely, I'd love to.
I'd love to get Gary's take on this too, as a combat sports enthusiast. What did you guys think? Has anyone seen the Zapruder film broken down?
I think Malik Neighbors is a fucking monster, dude.
He's a monster for sure.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be very good. I also thought
all you fantasy owners out there, you better listen to that.
I only saw one. Of course, all camp he's been making spectacular plays. I only saw one highlight reel play on Terry and Arnold, and even on that rep in particular, Arnold got him. And Neighbors, if you look at the film, slowed down. Neighbors gave a little bitch slap to Kirby Joseph, who instantly responded and fucking got 2 nice shots in on him. Good for Neighbors for being a rookie in the league and coming on strong like that, but also he's a bitch. I'm excited to see him play.
I think he's good. I like.
Yeah,
he's gonna. I think he's the best receiver in this class that came out. That's my opinion.
You could be right.
I already know.
I think at the end of the year, I think he could be right.
I already know what's going to happen.
What do you mean?
You're going to get to round 3 of the fantasy draft, and you're going to go out. You're going to be like, "Oh, do I take Devontae Adams or Malik Neighbors?"
I'm taking Neighbors.
And then you're gonna end up in round 6 or 7. You're gonna be like, "Oh, I want the Daniel Jones to Neighbors connection." You're gonna pull the trigger on Daniel Jones.
Danny ball game.
Each team was fined $200,000 for their actions in the fight today.
I don't understand that.
I don't either, but there's a reason for it. This was, I think, the first or second joint practice of the offseason. And almost every team except for like the Chiefs they're all doing joint practices, and the NFL was sending a message. They're saying, "Don't fucking do this shit." And Dan Campbell brought up a great point. He's like, "I like the fire, I like all that, but also when it keeps happening, when it happens 5 times per practice, all you're doing is just taking the pace out, and you're slowing everything down because
Right.
you got to take a couple minutes to break everything up, and it ruins the pace of the practice, which defeats the purpose of the joint practice.
Right.
So it's not cool. You're right. It's bullshit, but they did it was to send a message. Finding the team sent a message.
Yeah, I mean, there was no helmet swinging.
I'm sure that the Lions and the Giants, that $200,000 is not really going to kill them. You know.
That is-
What's the franchise worth? $4 billion.
Giants are up there.
Giants are up there. New York franchise.
Whatever, dude.
New York franchise. Is Guns N' Roses coming here this year?
I don't know.
It'd be nice if they are. It's a good concert. Good concert.
Billy
That was a
Joel.
shitty concert we went to.
You think?
Yeah, it was the COVID shit. Don't you remember? It was fucking half empty.
I had a
vibe-
good.
the
All I
vibes were
remember
off.
is I had a good time.
Billy Joel had a residency at Madison Square Garden for like the last 10 or 15 years, and he finally just played his last show. He was playing like monthly shows
Thank
or 10
God,
shows a year.
dude.
He played his last show, and he brought out Axl Rose. at
I
his last show.
seen him with Rod Stewart here.
Saw a lot of
Billy
women,
Joel and
probably, too.
Billy
Rod
Joel
Stewart.
and Rod Stewart. At I think it was the Silver Dome. I can't remember.
How
where
many
it
years
was
ago?
at. It was a while back, but I mean, you got to get into that kind of music. I mean, that's.
Why? Yeah. Why were you there?
Oh, Dave, your Uncle D got us in for nothing.
Oh, love it. Nice. Anyways, moving on. I really want to talk about this Aiyuk thing.
Hell yeah. I want to spend time on this.
I want to spend time on this too because I can't stand it. I'm at the point where I truly can't stand it. All right. It's Brandon Aiyuk. It's what? Who are you?
I love that concept.
Who
too.
are you?
I love.
Like,
I know
who are
what
you?
you're saying.
You're-
He's not in the class with the
No.
people he's trying to be the class.
Correct. You are not one. Okay. Number one. Look at your $30+ million receivers. It's Tyreek Hill. It's Justin Jefferson. I'm sorry, but you, Brandon Aiyuk, are not there. And I don't care if it's because of Debo taking reps away from you or if it's because of Brock Purdy. I'm sorry, you ain't there.
He's their best receiver.
That's great. That's great. But he's not. I don't think Brandon Aiyuk is a top 5 guy. This is top 5 guy behavior.
He is in that offense when it's clicking.
Yes, but it's the league.
You know,
He
I-
is
I-
not that guy.
Listen. Everybody's trying to get theirs, and I get it. I get that.
But
Okay, if they spent all their money on a couple of guys, that's on them. If he wants fucking more money, go for it, dude. All the world to you. But you are under contract for another year. I mean, so I don't get that. I don't get it.
I'm sorry. If you're a top 5 guy at your position in this league, all right, you can pull shit like this. You can have the entire NFL media revolving around you every time you wipe your nose. You can have all the speculation. Again, if this was Tyreek Hill, I don't think it would bother me. Even if it was CeeDee Lamb, I don't think it would bother me. Brandon Aiyuk is not in that conversation. He is not that great. I'm sorry. He's not. And it's looking like he's going to end up in Pittsburgh again now. Or the other option that I've heard thrown around is Cleveland because he told New England he didn't want to go there.
Okay.
I guess New England had a $30 million offer for him, and he said, I don't want to play.
I got this side of it covered. Go ahead and finish up.
Okay? Because I think if he ends up somewhere that's not San Francisco, that team's going to look stupid. Like, I think if he ends up in Cleveland and he's playing with Amari Cooper, he's going to look stupid. I just don't think I don't think he is that guy. I think he is that guy on the 49ers offense. I don't think he is that guy in Cleveland. Pittsburgh is where wide receivers go to die. You know what I'm saying? I don't see it in either of those places. And it's way too much noise for a guy who, I mean, he's done a bit. Like he is a proven receiver in this league, but to have this much noise around you, you got to be a top 5 guy. I'm sorry. And I think it's all bullshit. I think the reason why the Patriots backed out is because they realized, wait, we're going to give this guy top receiver money with this body of work and this type of rigmarole around it.
Well, I don't think New England has the fucking horses that the 49ers have either. I mean, you got to look at it. look at it as what it is. That he works in that system because of where they are in the total fucking as a total offense. You have the best running back in the fucking league there. Do you really need a quarterback there? No, you just need somebody to be serviceable, dude. And you can fucking win a Super Bowl.
I want to know your guys' thoughts because
New England's nowhere near that right now. If he's to go somewhere, a Pittsburgh or who else? Cleveland. I think if he was smart, to be honest with you, I would say probably Cleveland would be his best spot.
I mean, he's the number one guy in Pittsburgh, undoubtedly.
Well, Pickens, George Pickens.
I'm taking him over Pickens. But
Yeah.
I mean, you of all people could make the argument he's the number 2 to Amari Cooper.
That's okay, though.
I don't think so. I think he'd be number 1 over.
You do.
Yeah. Listen.
I want to hear your guys' thoughts on
Listen.
it. I can't believe
I think that would be a good compliment to Amari Cooper, to be honest with you.
So here's the problem with that. In the perspective deal, like I've done so much work on this over the last 3 days. In the perspective deal, on the Patriots side, so you were incorrect on something. The Patriots are willing to do it. They're Browns
back in now?
No, they're not back. Something that there's a narrative that no one knows about, which is going on right now, which is why I love the Brandon Aiyuk saga so much. He is bullying the fuck out of the 49ers, who are, in my opinion, one of the best run teams in the league at the moment. I think they do a good job.
Top three.
Top 3. Good. Fair. I think they're so well ran, and I think John Lynch is one of the best, if not the best GMs in football. And he's doing something that people of greater value, including Jamar Chase, are not able to do. He is bullying the 49ers, okay? To the point where they broke, and they let him negotiate. And not only, the reason why a trade hasn't happened yet is it's twofold. The first fold is whoever trades for him has to negotiate a contract with him. That contract can only be for $30 million, number one. Number two, he gets to choose where he wants to go all of a sudden. He only wants to play for 2 teams, the Commanders, who haven't taken a flyer, who haven't bit, and who haven't negotiated a deal with him. The other is Pittsburgh for some reason. So he's been driving this to the point where there's this guy on Twitter I have to give a shout out to. It's like one of those parody accounts that breaks news but gets it. This guy on Twitter, his name is Ricky the Dog, and it's this guy with the dog's face over him. And people have been giving this Ricky the Dog guy death threats and all this stuff. He's been saying for about 2 weeks that Aiyuk is going to get traded, and it's going to be the Steelers. And everyone has been making fun of him. Steelers beat writers have chimed in. Niners beat writers have chimed in. As recently as this weekend, it's, he's on good terms with the Niners. He's going to negotiate a deal. And this guy has held firm to the point where on Monday, the tide started to turn. It was, there's a deal in place for the Patriots. Do you know what the Patriots deal was? It was Kendrick Bourne and picks. The Patriots were going to give him the most money. They were going to give him the $30 million. Kendrick Bourne plus picks. The picks weren't going to be
Played
first.
in the 49ers system.
Did he? Kendrick Bourne?
Yeah.
The second deal, the Cleveland deal, was Amari Cooper plus picks, no first. I don't know if Cleveland was going to offer the $30 million. He nixed both of those. He goes, I don't want to play there. I want to play for the Steelers or the Commanders. So the Steelers are in it strictly because Brandon Aiyuk is keeping them in it. And it's going to be, he'll probably get $29-30 million from the Steelers. I don't know the receiver that's going to go back. I highly doubt it's going to be Pickens.
It's not going to be Pickens.
That being
I heard
said,
it was Roman Wilson today.
Whatever. Roman Wilson's a get for them. I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be to the Steelers. I think it's going to happen in the next couple, it could be in the next couple hours, but I certainly think it's going to happen by the end of the week. And I have that thing that I've been saying for a year, which is this usually gets done with the team. It's not. He's going to get traded, and I love it because it makes the 49ers look so messy. They got bullied. They got beaten to shit. John Lynch was outplayed. They look like they're in disarray. And you cannot, unless they have an actual top 5 receiver coming back, or they have someone as good as Aiyuk or better coming back, their leading receiver now is, outside of the running backs who both catch passes, or Debo, whatever you want to call him, their leading receiver is going to be Ricky Pearsall, who has not looked. He's been injured, and now since he's been in camp, since
They
he
got
started
the
playing,
Jennings kid too, the big kid.
Can you win a Super Bowl with Jennings and Pearsall? I don't think you can. And Ronnie Bell,
Maybe.
So then why
I don't
not?
think you can.
So then why didn't they just write the check?
because you have to pay Purdy, you have to pay Trent Williams, you restructured McCaffrey, you
Trent Williams still
restructured.
holding out.
Trent Williams is still holding out. This is what gets Trent Williams done, and this is what allows them the money for Purdy in the offseason. They prepared by drafting Pearsall, but I don't think Ricky Pearsall this year helps them like Brandon Aiyuk does. I don't think they write the check, or maybe I think they write the check and just write it for this year. I think they should just stand their ground and let him rot away and lose him for nothing. He was a 3rd-round pick, a 4th-round pick. The comp pick that you get back is going to be a 3rd. I think Aiyuk was right, or was he? He might have been a 1st-round pick.
No, he's like 3rd or 4th.
He was Colorado State or something like that, by way of Arizona State. I don't remember where he came from.
I will find it.
It's 2nd or 3rd. Regardless, you get comp back for sitting on him or for letting. Just sit on him, and then if he wants, he could show
Round
up.
1, pick 25.
Okay, so he was a 1st-rounder, and he came on eventually. He's been good. He's great in that offense. He's an X receiver. He goes up and gets balls. He's irreplaceable. So if I'm the Niners, I don't get bullied. I get my Trent Williams extension done. If Aiyuk walks, let him walk. But I think I would hang on to him, let him succumb to the pressure, let him rot away, and lose him for nothing. That's what I would have done because the Steelers offered a 1st-round pick. In the spring, in March, the Steelers offered a 1st for Aiyuk. The Niners turned it down. Now they're going to get him for a lot less. His value diminishes the longer this goes on.
Correct.
And Aiyuk is bullying the Niners, and I love it. I love that the Niners are in such disarray right now.
I love the fact that the Niners are in disarray. I agree with you 1,000%. I just am I the only one that's missing something on him? Like I just don't see it. If you
Market value. That's all it is.
because if you put him up against
Good
the other,
receiver.
if you put him up
He's a
against
fucking
the
good
other
receiver.
$30 million guys, okay, and this might be the Jordan Love effect.
Well, there you go.
it's the
Okay.
same. It's the same thing.
I know you're saying that. Okay, is he worth $30 million right now? No.
Amon-Ra
But if he
in a
signs
season- in an
a
entire
2-year
season
deal,
less, in an entire season less, Amon-Ra is literally at his numbers, and CeeDee Lamb in 4 more games is blowing him out by almost 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns. It's like not even close. So that's why I'm having a hard time with him.
yeah, but the 49ers spread their wealth. They spread their wealth. They're a well-even spread offense. They don't just look for one guy. They look for fucking 5 guys.
They need him. Are you
They
implying
do
that they need him?
I think he's their best receiver.
And I think he could be good wherever he goes. I think he could be good in Pittsburgh. I think he'd certainly be good with the Commanders. I think he would fit in Cleveland. I think he'd be good in all those places. No, is he in the Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill class? No, but that's market value. Market value for wide receiver 1 right now is $30 million. He wants it, and other teams are willing to give it to him. That market value, it's going to be $35 million in probably 2 years, and it's just going to keep rising just because that's how this goes.
Yeah.
So that's why I know what you're saying. I don't understand with Jordan Love. Jordan Love has one season's body of work,
Awful.
and he's a top 5 quarterback. That's just the market.
I hope that burns the Packers so bad. I mean, if you look at the 49ers receiver room, I know you just touched on this. It's bleak.
It ain't great outside
It's
of him.
fucking bleak.
You need Ricky Pearsall to come on really strong.
I mean, they have Ronnie Bell up there as receiver 3 at the moment.
So who is it? It's Aiyuk,
Aiyuk, Debo,
Pearsall,
Jawan Jennings, excuse me.
Debo,
Without
Jawan
Brandon
Jennings,
Aiyuk,
yeah.
Ronnie Bell is the number 3 guy. And then Pearsall's right behind him. I mean, there's nothing there. And you have to hope that Debo wants to play wide receiver and doesn't get hurt.
Yeah.
Unless they get something back, which to me, the Roman Wilson thing as a return, even if hypothetically, let's say it's a 2nd in Roman Wilson, I don't know how much that's going to fix you when you're dealing with Ricky Pearsall as your other.
So I'll say this
Yeah.
much. Pearsall's big and he's athletic. I think he's 6'2". He had one of the highest RAS scores. He could be a bully. He's had a problem maybe because he's injured. Since he's come back, he's had a problem creating separation, which is very bad news for the 49ers because their offense relies on Debo and Aiyuk creating separation. So if you bring Ronnie Bell in, let's say, or not, excuse me, not Ronnie Bell. If you trade for Roman Wilson, right, and he's not there to fill in for Aiyuk, and you could evolve Pearsall into Aiyuk, that's hella good news for them if it all pans out. You're relying on a lot, but you have two guys on rookie deals while you advance. Other guys retire. Trent Williams eventually retires, and you're advancing the cause of Purdy in the meantime, and that's good. Again, I don't think it helps them this year, and they had that Super Bowl window this year. That's the whole thing. That's why I think they should have just held on. Hey, I love it. I love the chaos in the NFC right now.
It's chaos amok.
So if you're Lynch, what do you do?
You lost all you showed all your cards. It's done.
If I'm Lynch, I keep him. Lynch is going to trade him, and he's going to trade him to probably Pittsburgh, maybe Washington. It's going to be one of those two teams. It's going to be Pittsburgh. This guy on Twitter has been right.
I see what they're going to get for him. Obviously, they're going to get drafted.
Ricky the dog, and he's been like the beat writer. This guy's been getting death threats, and he's been saying, "No, this is what's going to happen. He's going to go to Pittsburgh. He's going to get traded to Pittsburgh."
It's start looming what he's doing.
He was here.
Pittsburgh's another interesting story because so far in training camp, everybody's saying that Justin Fields has outplayed Russell Wilson.
I heard that too.
And so, I mean, if you're Aiyuk, why are you jumping at the bit to go play there right now when they have a quarterback that Chicago threw away and a quarterback that Seattle threw away, and somehow the one that we thought was the worst of the two is outplaying the vet? I feel like Pittsburgh's going to be
right now. It's camp.
Bad.
I wouldn't really read too much into it just because it's camp.
Same, I agree with you.
Because as of right now, that kid in New England's out playing fucking Drake May.
Yeah, but those are rookies.
Yeah,
you're going up against a rookie.
Both the guys, Milton and
I heard he's out playing Drake May,
and so is the other guy. So is
Bo Nix
Jacoby Brissett.
Bo Nix, number 3 on Denver.
Bo Nix, I keep hearing his name. He's number 3 on the depth chart. JJ McCarthy, keep hearing his name. Darnold's first on the. I wouldn't go by any of that. And something to your point that I kind of disagree with. Uncle Sam, how many quarterbacks have thrown Brandon Aiyuk the ball over the last since he's been there? Can we name them all? Purdy, Garoppolo, Darnold. Who's the one guy they drafted early that they traded to Dallas? Trey Lance. Five quarterbacks have thrown Aiyuk the ball. I think he's, because of his size and the way he creates separation, I think he's good enough to buck quarterbacks. I think he's one of those unicorn receivers. I don't think he's as good as some of them, but I think that it doesn't matter who's throwing him the ball just because of what he does, which is he jumps up and grabs balls. And on top of that, I do think the Steelers thing gets sorted out eventually. Russell Wilson, he's been outperformed, but he's had a calf injury. So Fields is starting, but Wilson's first on the depth chart. Like I wouldn't read too much into it. I don't know why Pittsburgh is the team he wants to go to, but he wants to go there. It's one of the teams he wants to go to.
Mike Tomlin, dude.
Mike Tomlin helps.
Yeah?
Mike Tomlin helps.
Been in the league longer than everybody else.
There's also a fight at Seahawks camp that just came out a little while ago. I guess DK Metcalf ripped somebody's helmet off and threw it at him.
So he's still got issues?
Still not happy there.
The guy's such a fucking clown, dude. He really is, dude.
Maybe he had too many Skittles today.
By the way, Robbie Chosen was visiting the Niners earlier today, which is a sign of things to come.
Yeah, you know who Robbie Chosen is?
Yeah, I know.
Chosen Anderson?
Idiot. Another idiot.
Robbie Chosen. Okay. Should we talk about some injuries? Started off Mike Williams. He is officially off the PUP list. His knee looks like it is ready to go, and that is good news for Uncle Sam.
That's it.
Does Aaron Rodgers have his...
Get ready. He's going to be MVP.
Is it...
MVP, Aaron Rodgers. I call it right now. Right now, before the season even starts.
Jalen Johnson.
Aaron Rodgers will be MVP.
Jalen Johnson from the Bears.
Not only MVP, comeback player of the year.
Was bitching that Aaron Rodgers was on the NFL Network top 100 list. He's like, the guy didn't play last year, and I was all pro, and I didn't make the list, and he's on it. And he's like, what the hell is that about? I thought that was kind of
He's not Aaron Rodgers.
He's not.
Got to smoke some peyote.
Allen Lazard's still there, too. You think Allen Lazard's going to have himself?
Absolutely. He's going to have a good year. Watch.
Pro Bowl.
Pro Bowl
You
from
guys
the
will
start.
see. You guys will see. You're talking all that shit right now. You'll see.
Another wide receiver news. DeAndre Hopkins out 4 to 6 weeks with a knee injury. He's now in doubt for week 1.
Wow.
They have receiver depth there, so
Yeah.
I don't panic completely. But obviously that game didn't Hopkins. The game Will Levis had 4 TD passes. His first start or his second start.
Hopkins had
Wasn't
like
Hopkins on the other end of
2 or
like
3
3
of
of those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had an absolute monster game that day. That one, I mean, I don't know how old DeAndre Hopkins is, but I feel like you're on your last parade here in Tennessee. They do have good wide receiver depth there, which is nice. Do you think DeAndre Hopkins is at this point in his career the bona fide number 1 there with Ridley and Tyler?
Yes.
And Treylon Burks.
Yeah, he's on that list of guys that's always bucked whoever throw. It doesn't matter who's throwing him the ball. He's very good.
He is going to be.
You throw it up and he catches it, and he proved last year, even though he was banged up, he's very effective still.
I'll say this about the Titans, and I was thinking about this earlier. When your receiver room is DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley, Tyler Boyd, Treylon Burks, and then all of the other guys you had last year, if Will Levis can't get it done with that and 2 first-round rookies, well, J.C. Latham, rookie first-rounder.
Well,
Pete
I mean,
Skoronski last year,
they're
first-rounder.
missing the motor that makes them go.
Well, they have Tony Pollard, don't forget.
Oh God.
Tony, and listen, Tajay Spears was not a bad number 2 guy there.
No, I like him better than
And
Pollard.
you have I like him better than Pollard too, personally. But you have both of them there.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that. I don't think that offense looks that bad right now.
No. They'll be serviceable, dude. They just got to protect them. That's their problem is their offensive line. You know, that's why they tried to draft as much as they could. That and their defense. I mean, without Mike Vrabel on that defense, I mean, we don't know
that's
what
gonna be
they're going to
interesting
look
to
like.
watch.
That's the big question mark.
It is. Another wide receiver news. Josh Downs, Colts wide receiver, carted off today with a high ankle sprain. Looks like he's going to miss 4 to 6 weeks in doubt for week 1. Those Colts, man, I don't know what to think about them. Right
Pittman's still there?
Pittman is
Yeah.
still there. So is Ashton Doolin.
Oh God.
Ashton Doolin.
That's fucking Jack's guy.
I like the Colts. I think they could be a dark horse to win that division.
Yeah.
Really?
I thought I've said that
Over
before.
Houston.
Over Houston, yeah.
Wow.
Houston's the team that's most poised. It's hard to recreate the wheel. They need Stroud to not regress at all. If he's half as good
Right.
as he was last year, that's great. But they need him to not regress at all in that division because that division got better across the board. And remember, the Colts were in it until they weren't last year.
Well, you know who's on the Colts? Joe Flacco.
Watch out. Watch out.
Bucks linebacker Yaya Dobby. He is out until week 1 with a leg injury. Rondell Moore carted off the field today for the Falcons, and in an air cast, wide receivers dropping like flies right now. Justin Herbert will likely miss the entire preseason with a foot injury.
He shouldn't play anyway.
If you're him, are you just? I mean,
He shouldn't play anyway.
do the Chargers really have any hope this year?
Yeah, because they have a guy
I
that's
think
going to
that-
give them hope in Harbaugh.
Well,
Everywhere he goes,
I mean,
he's
they're
never
going to
advanced.
try to right. I mean, Harbaugh's been successful everywhere he goes. You know, whether it's cheating or whatever, but it is what it is. You know.
Oh, speaking of that,
Oh, but
there's-
speaking of Harbaugh, if he does decide to go back to college football within the next 4 years, he will face a 1-year suspension, and they're absolutely going to pluck every fucking goddamn scholarship he'll ever have.
Can I ask you guys a question?
That's it.
Would they have administered that penalty to him had he still been at Michigan?
absolutely not.
Are they doing that because he's gone
I truly
now?
think they were going to.
They were doing
And I
it
think
to-
that's why he bolted.
And that's not for. By the way, that's not for the Connor Stallions thing either. That's just for the
no,
giving
this is just because he wouldn't comply with
because he
what
wouldn't
they want.
comply and he gave the recruit a
Right.
hamburger. Like, come on, they weren't going to do that if he was.
Well, I think there's a little more to it than whatever.
the statute of limitations is only 4 years.
It's a 4-year show.
So if he comes back after 5 and in the
If he
fifth year-
shits
He
the
ain't coming
bed,
back.
if he shits the bed in San Diego for 4 years
he'll retire.
and decides to go back to college football, he will face a suspension.
No,
he's suspended
within the 4
regardless.
years. Within 4
Can
years.
I go back to what you said on the Chargers on Justin Herbert?
Absolutely, yeah.
Their receivers aren't great. Supposedly, Justin Herbert is obsessed with Lad McConkey, the guy they drafted in the 2nd round, who's looked very good, by the way, in camp. And he's a Harbaugh guy. He's a gritty guy. I don't think they're going to 6.5 games. I think they're going to be around 6 or 7 games just because that division's kind of shitty, other than the Chiefs, in my opinion. I don't think the Chargers are much, but you're going to see the foundation get laid this year because Harbaugh doesn't. Like, if you look back, his only bad season's his first year at Stanford. It's his only truly bad season. So I think they're going to be competitive because that's what he is. Like, he's giving it his all as he's coaching in practice. And the teams that he's coached have always embodied that. They've always taken on that persona. So they're not going to be blown out. Were they the ones that got blown out? Who blew them out on? Someone put like 70 on that. Was it the Raiders that hung like 70 on the Chargers? Am I making that up?
Last year?
Yeah.
I believe so. I don't even know who's playing quarterback.
You won't see
Oh,
that.
I thought it was Miami put 70 on him.
It
No?
might have been.
Was it Miami? I
That
think Miami
or
was
was that
separate.
Denver?
They did that to Denver.
That was the game where Staley was doing the downward dog on the sidelines and it went viral. Yeah. For the Brandon Staley era. And obviously, like we said earlier, Russell Wilson has an injured calf, and Fields is going to start
I wouldn't
season
worry
week
about
1.
that.
I wanted to ask something because we were just talking about the Chargers, and this relates to the Chargers. Before we move on, and I know it's only the first week of August, but if we're thinking anything about fantasy, there was somebody who was interesting to me. Right now, there's a guy who was a consensus first rounder last year, who has an ADP in the 6th round, and that's Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler, okay, we've all said it here. The Chargers last year were not a good football team. All around, it was just a complete dumpster fire. Do we think Austin Eckler forgot how to play football? Do we think his production's going to be down in Washington? Or do we think that he's just right now a victim of a really bad team last year? Because there were some
I think he was
that we liked.
he was a victim of being on a team that was coached very bad. That's what he was a victim of.
I think Sam's point is that doesn't explain this year, though.
That doesn't
What do you
explain.
mean?
Or was he a
Why is
beneficiary?
ADP 6th round?
Oh, I think the benefit of him moving was huge.
So you think there's more benefit to Austin Eckler now because
Oh,
I
absolutely.
mean we're not talking. He didn't drop off a little bit. He dropped completely off.
Well, listen, he was dealing with some injuries. Their offensive line was a fucking abysmal. I'm talking about the Chargers. They were fucking abysmal last year. Your quarterback was fucking hurt for how many games did he miss?
A lot, most
Fuck.
of the year.
I mean,
Easton Stick. But the thing I'm trying to figure out was Austin Eckler for all those years before last year a benefit of a really good system that he worked well in?
No, he was a good back.
no,
That's
he,
what I think too. That's what and I
Here-
can't figure this one out.
Here's my explanation on this year. New offense, new system. He's up there in age, and he's at that age that no matter what we want to say, there's a regression at a certain age. The only other factor I can think of is that offense is going to flow very much through Jaden Daniels. It's going to go right through Jaden Daniels. And he's going to be the one doing a lot of the running of the ball.
he's going to be the beneficiary of the dump off.
Yeah.
And they're going to want to protect Daniels, and the quick way to do that is to just dump it off. And I think he'll be the plus guy in that thing. Fantasy owners should pay attention to that.
Are we in or out on Austin Eckler then?
Kind of.
I'm in on it.
I'm kind of in
I
on
mean,
all things.
I think
Commanders.
this could revive his career, getting the fuck out of San Diego and going to Washington. I really do.
Out of any offensive rookie, I'm most excited to see Jaden Daniels.
But let's say this: what team outside the Chargers has lost more key players than them?
They tore it all the way down. And they tore
Think
it
about
all
that.
the way down.
They lost their two starting receivers.
And it could have been more too.
Their
They
starting
almost
fucking
lost
running back.
Bosa and Mack as
They almost lost their top two defensive ends. Somehow they pulled a rabbit out of the hat and kept those guys. But they lost their linebackers. They've lost corners. They've lost a
rebuild.
lot of guys.
It's a true rebuild.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tore it all the way down.
I don't think
there's
team that lost more than that.
I don't think there is, to be honest with you.
To be honest
No,
with
either.
you, I don't think any teams lost their as much as they have.
Okay. Changing gears here. We got some holdout updates and a few transactions. Tyreek Hill restructured his contract.
That guy's such a fucking clown. You know what I heard? I heard this asshole. What's he got? Like 13 kids?
It's not 13 kids. He has like 5 kids.
No, I think he's close
No,
to
no,
10.
no, no.
I think he's close to 10.
Is
Well,
No,
you
no,
want
no,
Phillip
no, no.
Rivers.
I beg to differ. He's with the same woman, asshole. Not fucking 6 different women.
Gary, how many kids you planning to have?
4.
Hello.
Anything more than 4 is a lot, and I think he's close to
Landing on
10.
4? Crazy.
He has 10 children.
Yeah, there
Thank
we go.
you.
With 4.
And
There.
counting, and he's
Suck
a
a
young
cock.
guy.
He has another one too. Another girl come forward.
One of the,
That's the 10th
Just
one.
recently.
one
that's
of the
the
greatest
10th one.
rivalries in sports at the moment is Tyreek Hill versus the condom.
Whatever, dude.
who
Listen,
was-
they all live
Hey,
in that fucking
hey.
dream scenario.
Nobody, who is it? Antonio Rogers Cromartie. He's got like 17 children.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, Tyreek's still got a whole nother lifetime of kids to have.
See, if Leon was smart, he's tried to do this in the past. It doesn't work, does it, Leon? Tell him it don't work, that you're going out with a girl just to try to knock her up. Tell him it doesn't work. Remember Toy?
Toy?
That
Can you
must have
spell
been a
that?
stage. It had to be a stage name.
Can you
I
spell
don't
toy for us?
Huh?
Can you spell toy for us?
I don't know how they spelled it. T-O-I. Who knows? T-O-Y.
Anyways,
What do you mean Rivers, Leon? I'm talking about you.
Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers has like
Fielding
12
football.
kids. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's with his wife.
But yes.
That's just good old Catholicism at
Yeah.
play.
He's a fucking Tyrannosaurus, dude. Chill.
Phillip Rivers wants to field a full team. Is what
You know Leon laughing his ass off right now.
Oh, absolutely.
You know that.
Shout out to President Biden.
That fucking giggle right now. Oh, I can't believe he's doing it. Yeah.
No new years were added to his contract. It is still a 4-year, $120 million deal. The guaranteed money went up to $106.5 million, which is the most ever for a wide receiver. So
He just got married. How do you explain to your fiance that you've had 3 fucking children and she's pregnant too? How do you explain that? What woman would be stupid enough to listen to that kind of bullshit?
So his
Can anybody explain that to me? This asshole had 3 fucking kids all at the same
It's-
time.
hold on.
And his fucking fiance is okay with that. Wow. She's 1 in a million. Marry her.
he's expecting a kid with her. That was his
They're,
eighth.
they're first. They're first.
Their first, his 8th. And then 9 and 10, the courts decided were his. He hasn't owned up to the fact that they're his yet. And
No, but
court
these
ruled-
children were just born within the last year.
Well, so yes,
yes.
yes.
This is what I'm talking about.
yes. So it's
So
4.
he has his wife.
In the last 12 months, he has 4 and 1 with his wife.
Exactly.
Correct.
What woman in their fucking right mind would say that's okay?
You know who his wife is?
No, I don't.
It's
I don't
Kita
give
Vaccaro.
a fuck.
Kenny Vaccaro's sister.
There you go. If I
Kita.
was Kenny Vaccaro, I'd have put a pistol in his mouth.
Nah, he just signed the lucrative contract. That's why she's sticking
Whatever,
around.
dude.
Cool with it.
Whatever.
Listen, if you're an all-pro
You're gonna
wide
sell
receiver,
you're gonna sell your soul for some money.
if you're
Come
putting
on,
up
man.
all-pro yards, you better be putting all-pro.
You're gonna
kid
sell your
numbers
soul
up.
for some fucking money, dude.
Some people
Stupid.
Got to do what you got to
Stupid.
People do.
Yeah, so there's that piece of news. Most guaranteed money to a wide receiver ever. Matthew Judon, we talked about him a little bit last week and how he would be a good fit here, but he has returned to camp and has said he's going to play on his current contract.
Yep, he's not going anywhere. We kind of figured that. We knew that was all smokescreen.
Jamar Chase, still holding out, but he was there, I saw.
He's holding in.
He's holding
He's holding in. The theory right now is that if the contract doesn't get done, he's still going to play, just like Justin Jefferson did last year. And Justin Jefferson did suffer an injury and then still got his money. So
Right.
I think they're going to take care of him. It's a good relationship. Burrow's going to have a say in that. I wouldn't worry about that one. If it doesn't get done, whatever.
It'll get done. They're not letting him go anywhere.
I'm with you. He's not going anywhere. He's
Him
not
and Burrow are their franchise. You can't let him leave.
So as far as holdouts go, it's Trent Williams, CeeDee Lamb, and Hassan Reddick are the big names. We think those all get done, right?
Yeah, Trent Williams gets done as soon as
Hassan Reddick's holding out.
Yep.
Here's another big one, and I know we're running out of time a little bit, but Dallas. Let's talk about Dallas for a
Let's
second.
talk about Dallas.
It's Dak, it's CD, it's Micah Parsons. Okay,
Correct.
Maybe eventually Trayvon Diggs gets a deal. Like there's other guys that we're not naming, of course. So if you're Dak, do you play this out? Do you just play and then go get that $60 million deal from another team later? And if you're Dallas, do you let that happen? Do you let Dak walk and then take a flyer on a quarterback next year? Quinn Ewers is down the road in Austin, Texas. Do you take a flyer on him? I think that might be their play. I think they end up paying CD. I think they see how things go with Dak. And then they end up paying CD and Parsons, and then pending how things go this season with Dak, they let him walk. I think that's what they're going to end up doing.
They can franchise him too.
Will he play on a tag? They could franchise any one of these guys.
Right, you can franchise him and trade him.
Oh. Okay, I think CeeDee Lamb gets done.
All right, would you pay
CeeDee
him?
Lamb has to get done.
Let me ask a question. Would you pay him?
Who's him?
Dak Prescott.
Yes,
You would pay him.
I would.
You think he deserves it?
I think he's more of a sure thing than a lot of the guys that have gotten
Jordan Love. He's a more sure thing than Jordan Love.
Okay. Yeah.
Are we talking, do we pay him right now? Or can we get
Well,
away with
you're
not
gonna have
paying
to.
him right
Dak's
now?
going to play. Dak's not going to hold out. Like, he's already got
Correct.
a big contract. He's due for another one. So he's going to play. If you're Dallas, the ball's in Dallas's court on that one.
If I'm Dallas, I'm waiting to see what happens this year.
But then what happens? What happens if he doesn't play well? You just let him walk.
I would. Okay, again,
I agree.
I feel
He's
like
had more than enough opportunity to prove himself.
that's what I'm saying. If hypothetically, let's say, all right, I feel like this could be strategic in not signing Dak this offseason for this reason. If the Cowboys win 12 games this year, which they should, for all intents and purposes, they should win 11 or 12 games, and they go out and they get bounced
Again.
and don't see an NFC championship game,
Again.
which more likely than not is what's going to happen. I think that McCarthy's gone. I think you consider letting Dak walk. And I think you have to start to get under the
Hell yeah,
impression-
Steve.
You
Hell
have
yeah.
to get under the impression that you might be close, but you're not enough. Because history keeps repeating itself for Dallas. It has been for a very, very long time. So I think holding off on Dak is the right move. But if you give CD Lamb whatever he wants.
I think you give Micah Parsons whatever he wants. You start there. You get that deal done first, and then you move. CD's going to get $30 million, and I think they're just trying to fit the pieces to the puzzle together. I think what ultimately happens.
The longer they wait, the more they're going to pay. It's simple.
I think ultimately what ends up happening is that they're gonna let Dak play it out this year.
I think that's the right.
And it could go. I think it's the right move too. And I think it could go both ways.
Well,
we saw
here's-
how good
He could
Dak
be a
was.
$60 million
Dak was a
man.
$60
I can
million
give you the
quarterback.
scenario right now, and Mike McCarthy shouldn't be there next year.
Agreed.
Well,
So
I really feel like
And-
the mood in Dallas's locker room is if Mike McCarthy does not have a NFC Championship game appearance at a minimum,
he's done.
he's done. That's the expectation in Dallas right now,
I agree with that.
as it should be. And I think
How he's still there is beyond me.
and I don't think it's gonna
I
happen.
still think Jerry Jones is fucking out of his mind for keeping him there the last 2 years.
Jerry Jones is delusional, and he's one of the worst owners in sports.
I mean, that you don't think that?
I do have to say how incredible would a Lions Cowboys NFC Championship game be.
Make those fuckers come here.
Jerry Jones has turned into the old man Ford, man,
Yeah.
hanging on to fucking
Very
people too
poor
long.
decisions.
Yeah.
Making too many decisions
Yeah.
himself.
Put Matt Millen in fucking charge. Yeah, you know,
I agree.
he's the same way now. Jason
No,
Garrett.
no.
Dude, he had Jason Garrett there for a fucking, 12 years?
Jerry Jones
13 years?
is
What the
William Clay
fuck?
Ford. Jerry Jones is William Clay Ford, and then his
Yeah.
son Stephen Jones, who's a dumbass, is Bill.
Yeah,
Ford.
but he doesn't run anything.
He
He
does.
sucks.
He does.
He
He's the
don't run
president.
shit, dude.
He's the president.
I'll tell you right now, Jerry Jones makes all the decisions.
Oh yeah, of course.
Steven said,
Of course.
Dad, I want to do this. And he's like, yeah, go fuck your hand. You're not doing it. And that's it. You know that.
So Hassan Reddick is already at the $1 million mark in fines, by the way,
That's
for
wild.
missing training.
And
Angry,
why
baby.
is he holding out?
Wants more
Did
money.
he not get a contract when he got traded?
He wants to be in the league average for how he plays. He wants more money. He wants more money.
His salary this year is $14.25 million.
And is that
That's good
it might
money
be
for a
tagged,
fucking
too.
defensive
He
end,
may have been
dude.
tagged.
But yeah, so he has not reported. That's probably. I mean, that'll get.
No, I don't
That
know.
might not get done.
It might be one of those things where he comes back when the regular season starts.
Listen, he's shitting the bed.
But they just traded for him. So
Yeah,
it's
he
not
needs,
like
he
can
needs to
traded
get in
again.
fucking camp. He has an opportunity to possibly win a fucking Super Bowl. He needs to get into fucking camp.
With the Jets, he's not
Oh,
the
yeah.
Eagles anymore. Remember,
No, I know that.
he's with the Jets. So you still think there's a
Dude, you
possibility
put
for a
him
Super
on the
Bowl?
fucking Jets, and you got a monster fucking defense there, dude.
Trent Williams gets done.
I think Trent
Williams.
guaranteed to get done. They're just waiting for other chips to fall.
New highest paid tackle in football is Tristan Wirfs for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Shout out to Brad Holmes. You could thank Brad Holmes for that one.
5-year deal, $140 million. That is $28.125 million, which is $0.125 more than Penei Sewell. So,
That's it?
I mean, Penei Sewell gets $28 million per year average. Tristan Wirfs, $28.125.
How many salary caps did the Lions fuck up this offseason?
Quite a few.
Niners, Bucks.
That's not fuck up.
Packers.
I mean, it's not fuck up. They did the right thing by signing all their guys
They
first.
did it
That was
first.
smart.
They did it first, so
That's
they
fucking
fucked up
smart,
everyone else's salary caps.
You have to figure from Penei Sewell to Jawan Taylor, who's third on the list, there's an $8 million per year difference. $8 million. That's the Lions did fuck up. You got to figure, if you're going into the offseason, you figure Tristan Wirfs, if you're looking at the highest paid guy at the position is $20 million, you got to be thinking maybe 25. You're not thinking an $8 million jump.
Yeah.
But Harrison Butker got an extension, 4 years, $25.6 million.
Is that the kicker for
That
Chiefs
is the kicker for the Chiefs.
that everybody hates?
Yeah, and there's a few people that are not a huge fan of his.
Okay.
Quandre Diggs signed with the Titans, and Justin Simmons is visiting the Saints today.
There's some big name free agents out
What
there.
the fuck you mean, Justin Simmons?
Justin
I thought he
Simmons.
re-signed with the Titans.
No,
No, sir.
no.
He did not.
He's a fucking free agent?
He's a free agent.
Top guy out there.
Love him here.
Why?
We're deep at that
You don't
position.
need
though. The Lions are really deep at
You don't
safety.
need
Put
it.
him in that middle of that line, dude.
Quandre Diggs still getting it, eh? Well,
Yeah.
good for him. Good for him. Some news and notes. Do you have any comments on the kickoff from the Hall of Fame game?
Didn't love it. Didn't love it. That's
You
something
didn't
else.
love it?
Yeah, I mean, I liked it at first, but I thought it would lead to more, and it didn't. So maybe the teams are just really ready for it. I think we'll see more of a body of work this week. 32 teams are playing, so I'm excited to see what it is this week compared to last week.
I'm not gonna lie, I liked it.
Yeah, okay, I like the concept.
He hated it.
I like the concept, of course, but I wish someone would have broke one with Devin Hester. in the
know.
middle.
Here's the problem with it, and I'll give it to you straight up. I think the offense and the defense are too close together because by the time the offensive player is turning to look to see if this guy caught the ball, as they turn around, they're already engaged. They're already engaged instantly.
Would 10 yards be enough?
I
They're
think
5
they
yards,
should push
right?
it 10 yards, 10 yards between them
Yeah.
further. That would give the offensive guy an opportunity to actually turn around and try to fucking make some kind of a
Half
block.
of them couldn't even turn around.
Yeah, as soon as they fucking turn their head, guys are running by them already. So I did not care for it. No. I think the spacing of it's stupid. I think the whole concept of it is fucking stupid. Move the ball back to where it originally was in kickoffs and let these guys do the kickoff. What was more exciting about a fucking football game than watching the opening kickoff get smashed down the field?
Well, that could still happen.
That's what everybody. No, it can't.
It could,
No, it can't.
because it did in the XFL, where this rule came from. Like
See where it's at right now.
It's one game, man.
It's
I'm
one
not.
game.
I'm
I don't
not
give a
going by
fuck.
one
You give it
game.
20 fucking
There's
games.
32.
It's gonna be the same way.
There's 16 games this week. I guarantee you, someone returns a kick in one of those
Okay.
games. I'm willing to take that bet for this weekend.
All right. You know these guys can still kick it in the end zone.
They could try.
What do you mean try? They can kick it in the end zone every time, dude.
Some of
From
them
where they're
can.
kicking off from.
Tom Brady
Oh God.
is officially on Fox's number one announcing crew with Burkhart, Rinaldi, and Aaron Andrews. A little bit of buzz did come out this week regarding Tom Brady. Pro Football Talk said that people close to him said that he would, quote unquote, consider making a comeback if a Super Bowl contender lost its quarterback due to injury towards the end of the year. So we are still holding out hope. He just celebrated his 47th birthday in France. Shout out to Tom.
Next.
Okay. I'm so glad I got that in there. It's been too long. It's been way too long. The Browns Stadium.
Sad, isn't it?
What?
Sad, isn't it?
It is sad.
Yeah, he's still living in the past. It's sad.
No. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Let me paint the picture for you. Okay? Brock Purdy goes down.
Oh, whatever, dude.
You want to talk about the Browns Stadium?
Yeah. We'll get the social team to get the renderings up on the website, because there's another thing too. The Titans, who are in the process of building their new stadium, which is across the street from Nissan Stadium, the Titans are adding this thing that all these new buildings are getting, and it's a special section in the end zone devoted to their fans. It's called the Mosh Pit, and there's going to be a stage with a band that's rallying them the entire time. And it's only for Titans season ticket holders. They can't sell them. They get special deals. So they added a wall similar to what the Los Angeles Clippers just did for their new building. And then the Browns released the renderings a couple hours ago for a new domed stadium. It's next to the airport, so they're moving out of Cleveland, and they're moving like a little bit further south. It's next to the airport in Cleveland. And it looks cool. It's $2.4 billion, though, for a poor-ass fucking city in a poor-ass state. And I'm sure 2/3 of that are going to be publicly financed. So the stadium looks cool. Dome stadium for the Browns. The dog pound indoors. Will you bark for us? Do you think we need to bark? Dog pound.
It's a dome stadium in Cleveland. No,
You don't think the dog pound should
Ever.
be caged?
the dog pound don't want to be caged.
They do.
No, they don't. They don't want no part of that.
The mosh pit thing is interesting.
The mosh pitch thing should be in Cleveland.
Yeah, so
For the fucking Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
No, that's the
Black
dog
hole.
pound. That's the dog pound. And in the renderings, you could see that there's clearly an area in
Yeah.
the end zone dedicated to the dog pound. Everyone's doing this in sports. They're with these new buildings.
It's like a standing room only, but like
So it's more. It's less about being standing room only and more so like we want to make sure there's an area for our dedicated. It's a soccer concept. It's a European soccer concept where behind the goals on one side. There's a term for it. I can't remember what it is, but that's where like the diehard fans are that light the fireworks off. That's where the dog pound is. That's where the black hole is, et cetera, et cetera. And now all these teams are catching on with these new
Black
buildings.
hole's gone.
It just
I always wanted to go to a game there.
it just relocated.
I always wanted. No, it's gone. I've always wanted to go.
I'll go to.
the
You want
black
to go to
hole.
Vegas? Go to a game. We'll go to Vegas. Go to.
No,
a
it
game.
ain't the
I'm in.
same.
I'm
It ain't
in.
the same.
I'm in.
Gary, no
No,
football fan.
because back then you went to the black hole.
You don't want to see the.
Don't you
Olympic
remember all
photos?
them people from Miami? Every time fucking Dolphins were playing the Raiders, they'd get beat up in the parking lot in East LA over there. Give me a break, dude.
East LA?
Wherever the fuck it's
The
at.
Raiders played in LA.
Yeah.
What? 40 years ago?
No.
They won a Super Bowl there in the 80s.
It was
In the
40s.
80s? That's 40 years ago.
Yeah. Even in Oakland, you couldn't go to Oakland and get your ass beat.
Anyways,
I needed to be in the black hole.
on Hulu,
Some shoulder pads and some fucking spiked gloves on and beat the piss out of somebody like Bruce.
pink, all
boy.
pink.
Pink boy.
On Hulu next month, something you'll be interested in. American Sports Story, Aaron Hernandez edition comes out. So we'll get to see an inside look at Aaron Hernandez.
I'm pumped.
I can't wait.
They do a good job on everything they do. They nailed the OJ one. They nailed the Clinton impeachment one. I'm excited for this.
He's sitting there right behind you, staring at you. You know that, right? He's just sitting there. He's looking at you.
I can't believe he got caught.
And before we end today, we have to give an Olympics
You
update.
should know better.
Bruce,
He's
you
supposed
still
to leave
holding
nobody
out?
alive.
Bruce is still
You still
holding
too
out.
good for the Olympics? You still showing those athletes who's boss?
He's high.
I just don't care.
All right, that's fair.
right
That's
now-
fair.
Well,
That's
no,
fair.
I don't care to watch it for my reason, but I don't.
Oh my god.
So what? That's my fucking opinion.
The United States has a 29 medal lead on China.
Hold on. The
No,
gold is what's important though, which is only
29 to
two,
what?
I think.
It's 94 to 65 in total medal counts. Right now, we are up on China by 2 at 27 to 25.
They
gold
just took the lead
Gold,
yesterday.
yes.
And we have more coming too. USA men's and women's basketball. The men's 200-meter like there's a lot. We've taken lead. We're getting the real stuff though. They had like shooting and archery and ping pong and shit like that. We're actually doing athletic.
I actually thought the archery was pretty fucking cool.
You know what I love about the archery is you don't realize how far they are away until you see a shot of how far they are away. It's like
Right.
2 football fields.
Did you
and
see
they're
the
getting
size of the
bullseyes.
fucking target too?
It's small.
It's like hit this.
That target's
Yeah.
fucking that big, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this big.
That's always great.
And these guys are like, they got these bows that are really weird looking. And they're fucking long, and they're like flicking it with their teeth.
It's been
And then they shoot, and then it takes like 3 seconds for the fucking arrow to hit the target.
it's been a fun ass Olympics. It's been so fun. Everything's been cool to watch. I was watching men's
There's
volleyball.
only,
and I was
only
at work
one
the other
thing
day.
that I watched that I really did not care for:
What was it?
the U.S. basketball team.
Oh, they're
And
gonna win.
I
gold.
hope to God that Serbia, with the 2 best NBA players in the fucking world right now,
They
kick
only
their
got
ass.
one. Luka doesn't
Kick
play
their
for them.
ass.
Only Jokic plays for them. Luka doesn't play for them.
I thought they both played for him.
No, Luka's
Eh,
Slovenia.
the other dude plays for them too. It's not only it's not just
Bogdanovich.
yeah, somebody like that. And they got a good team. They better watch out for them. They're a sleeper.
Anyways, Kevin Durant's coming off the bench. I heard.
Yeah, and he's the all-time leading scorer in the Olympics, and he's coming off the bench.
He's coming off
They do this rotation. They do this really weird rotation. So other guys that you'd be shocked come off the bench as well. It's been fun because they play like really unselfish basketball, and they've been a lot of fun to watch.
You know, Kevin Durant's probably the fucking best scoring basketball player of all time.
Of,
Never thought
of,
I think.
of the
think.
last 50 years, yeah, he's the best scorer.
I just think he's unstoppable,
yeah,
dude.
it's very fair.
Yeah.
Leon's gonna argue with LeBron.
Oh, whatever, dude. You don't give me a fucking break with that, dude.
On.
Kevin Durant, he can't hold Kevin Durant's jock strap.
There were 2 countries that won their first ever medals during this Olympics. Do you know what they are?
I think I know one of them.
Go ahead.
St. Lucia.
Yep.
They did it in the women's 100-meter dash,
St. Lucia got a
and
medal.
I don't know the other one.
Out
Dominica.
Caribbean, shout out to the Caribbean, shout out North
Dominican
America.
Republic. They won their first medal in
Dominica. It's a separate country.
not Dominican Republic.
No, there's Dominican Republic, and then there's Dominica.
Who knows, dude? You know what? You got so many fucking countries now. Nobody knows what's what anymore. It's fucking stupid.
I do.
Dominica. Little island. Got
Whatever.
their first medal. Congratulations. to
Good
them.
for them.
Shout out to them.
Great for them. Shout out to the Italian girls. They got their first medal in gymnastics in fucking 92 years.
See that bitch that's sponsored by the cheese?
Yeah.
Parmesan cheese.
Yeah, she was one of
It's
them.
awesome.
Yeah.
Incredible. If I was going
What
to
was
be
it,
sponsored,
Reggiano?
Parmigiano.
Parmigiano Reggiano.
Yeah.
If I was going to be sponsored, I want to be sponsored by cheese.
Yeah, there's
that is
nothing,
incredible.
nothing cooler than that.
That is. I agree.
If you're sponsored by cheese,
You have
you're
the whole
fuck-
country on your back.
You're the shit.
Yeah, I agree. Anything to add before we end today's show? There's got to be something up there.
Well,
You want to talk about Aaron Rodgers real quick before we go?
no.
I got to talk about Brady, so you might as well.
No, I don't want to talk about Tom Brady.
No, I'm saying, do you want to talk about Aaron Rodgers?
He's a weirdo. No, actually, I'm excited to see Aaron Hernandez, his little fucking
figured-
documentary. I'm really excited to see that. That's my dog right there. I can't believe he got caught.
Does our production team have anything to add before we end today's show?
Nope.
Garrett?
Time to gym,
Gary,
man.
this is your rightful spot. Come sit here.
I'm in my rightful spot.
No, go sit. In your
Gary, come on over here with that little fedora
Come on,
on.
get in for a
Get
second.
over here.
Leon
over
said he
here.
wanted you to have your 5 minutes.
Yeah, Leon's asking for you
Come
right
on in
now.
for the closeout.
5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Come on in for the closeout.
Go close out.
You can
Come on
say hello
into the
to people.
closeout and say hello to everybody.
First time on camera in over 2 years.
Come on.
Coming back, the founder of Tipped Gloves, former host of Tip Balls, wearing a really cool hat. And actually, hold on, we have a Tip softball update. The season has officially ended for Tip softball last night. It was a valiant effort. It was a 12-10 game in the semifinals going into the 7th.
And Bruce struck out.
No, Bruce actually had a decent game. And unfortunately, we ended up losing 19-10. But valiant season for Tip softball. Valiant season.
So what'd you finish?
With the playoffs,
Yeah.
11-5.
Where'd you finish in the standings?
Fourth. Yep.
Huh. Interesting.
Not too bad, right?
How many teams is there?
8.
Oh,
Whatever, dude.
okay.
Oh, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
I like your hat.
Thank you.
That's it.
Uh,
Look like fucking Indiana Jones.
His hat was brown.
I hear you.
you have anything to share with the people before we go? Football? Fights? Anything?
Fights?
Life?
Oh, he's got the tip balls fucking baseball
He has
jersey
the, yeah.
on. I hear you.
stuff- You
I
won't
hear
wear
you.
yours. You
I
won't
don't
wear
have
yours.
one.
You have one. You,
You
won't
gave it
wear
to
it.
somebody. You gave it to your dad, I thought.
I might have.
Yeah, you did.
I might have. Bruce, anything?
Time to gym, man. Time to gym.
Bruce has got to go to the gym. He's gotta
Whatever, dude.
go toss around some weight. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of
Told you
Tip
how
Balls
much it
Podcast. Amen. Make sure to follow our socials, Instagram and Twitter at Tip Balls, TikTok at Tip Balls Podcast. If you need a little bit of reading, go to www.tipballs.com, go to the Tip Thoughts section and read our blogs, which we update weekly. And it is so much fun to read 3,000 words about the Lions' top 2 draft picks from Cousin Steven or Zolo's thoughts on how the game should be improved. After that, you can join us again next Wednesday live on YouTube at between 5 and 5:30, or listen to us on Spotify and Apple Music the day after the show. Thank you so much for watching and listening. We will see you again on Wednesday. Watch the Lions tomorrow.